If you want to get prospects to actually watch and reply to your Loom outreach, there's 10 mistakes you need to avoid every single time. They're called the Loom killers. And if you can understand those 10 mistakes, you'll go from getting ghosted to booking calls consistently, which will lead to getting clients, which will then allow you to do whatever you want with it, just like me, traveling the whole world, get my time back, and grow my business. Now, I know this works because I've sent hundreds of Looms, over 500 Looms. One of them made 27,000 USD from one client without a sales call. And I've spent years figuring out what kills response rates and what makes prospects actually take action. So I'm gonna break down those 10 Loom mistakes that are destroying your reply rates. I'm gonna tell you what each mistake is, why it kills your reply rate, and most importantly, the fix for each one of them. And mistake number 10 is the foundation. Get that one wrong and the other 9 won't save you. Get it right and they become 10 times easier. But before I explain the first mistake, it's critical to understand the psychology of how Loom Outreach actually works. Like, what is really going on in your prospect's brain when they see your email and your Loom link? This alone will make a huge difference for you. When your prospects open their inbox, they see hundreds of emails. Your email is competing with everything else screaming for their attention. And they will see 3 things: your name, your subject line, and the preview text. If any of those look generic or like every other cold email, you're done. But let's say they open it. Now they see a Loom link. Their brain is asking, is this worth my time? Every second they spend watching your Loom is a second they're not spending growing their business. So if your Loom doesn't prove immediately that it's worth it, they close it. And here's the thing, most people make the same 10 mistakes that guarantee their Loom gets ignored. So let's break them down. The first one is sending a Loom to somebody who didn't ask for it. And there's a lot of people who are doing this. You just blast a video to a cold prospect and hope they watch it. And here's why that fails. There's no reciprocity. There's no commitment. They didn't ask for it, so they don't feel obligated to watch it. And you just wasted 5 minutes recording something that's gonna sit at 0 views. So the fix is simple. You wanna create commitment first, but how do you do that? You wanna send a short first email. Use the fewest words possible, don't be boring, and be autistic with the choice of words. You wanna make the ask crystal clear. Get them to reply with a yes, a word, or anything that gets them committed to watching your Loom video. Once they reply, now you have permission. Now there's much more chances that they will actually watch it. The second mistake is about your subject line. Most people write garbage like quick question or some other gimmick that they saw someone talk about in 2022. Those are dead. Everyone's using them. Your prospect sees 50 a day of those. So the fix is the RRR framework: recent, relevant, recognizable. Your subject line should reference something they created in the past 72 hours. A post, a video, a launch, anything recent. It should be recognizable, so part of their brand, their work, or something they'll immediately connect with, and it should be relevant, tied directly to their desire or their pain that you're about to solve. This formula has led to over 1 million in sales for my clients and myself. And for the preview text, which is the first thing they see below the subject line, use a simple word, their favorite word. What is it? It's the first name, of course. You just want to use the first name. You don't even need to say hello. That's up to you. The third mistake is one I see a lot, is thinking that longer videos mean more value. I used to believe this myself. I'd make 10-minute Looms where I detailed everything, thinking it proved that I knew about my stuff. Wrong. My 90-second Looms outperformed my 5-minute Looms. And here's why. You know, when you search for YouTube tutorials about how to do this thing on Photoshop or whatever, you want the shortest video, right? You're gonna click on the 1-minute video or the 2-minute video, not the 15-minute video where the guy introduces himself, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe to the channel. We don't care about that. We want the value. And then, as the value provider builds trust with us, that's when we can be interested of learning more about the guy. Until then, we just need the value. So just think of attention like money. Every second is worth $1,000. Or let's say every minute is $1,000, which might be the case for the prospects you might be targeting. And you can still send longer Looms after you've established trust. But now, don't try to be perfectionist with this. You can start at 10 minutes, shrink it down to 5, 3 minutes, and then go down to those 90 seconds, even less. The fourth mistake is jumping straight into their problem without establishing credibility. You start analyzing their business, pointing out issues, giving advice, but they're sitting there thinking, who are you? You haven't earned the right to their attention yet. Here's the fix. The first 15 to 30 seconds of your Loom should be undeniable proof that you've generated results for yourself or for your clients. What I used to when I got started is I did a whole scientific breakdown of someone's strategy, and I would break it down for my prospects in a way that they could use it themselves. And then I would just use my clients' results that I've generated, just show it to them as something they could use, something actionable. And this allows you to build trust. And when you have trust, you earn the next 60 seconds of their attention. The fifth mistake is getting more difficult, which is about deliverability. When you're sending emails, well, cold email isn't really appreciated by the servers. They don't really like that. And so this is why we need to find solutions to actually do it. And there's a lot of tools that allow you to warm up your emails so you can send more of them without being flagged as spam. Spam is the latest place you want to end up in. And so the simple fix, Pareto fix of email deliverability is to just send plain text. You don't want to add too many hyperlinks. The only link you're going to use is for your Loom. But you don't want to, even if you add a signature, what I used to do is add my domain, parenthesis, .com. So this way, the whole domain is not interpreted as a clickable website, okay? Very simple. And no images, no attachments, the least amount of things that are different from plain text. This is what keeps your emails out of spam and your domain healthy. Mistake number 6 is the saddest one, which is you did all of this work. You made sure your sequence is perfect, your subject line, your Loom, perfect setup, and then you end up with, let me know what you think about this. This is the worst way to end a video. You want to make the ask crystal clear, a clear next step, and add urgency. So even if they like your Loom, if there's no urgency, they will procrastinate. They will forget and then they'll never reply. So the fix here is to tell them exactly what to do and why they need to do it. So what to do is like reply with XYZ and I'll send you a 5-minute walkthrough, or book a time here on that button, which is on the top right of your screen. You want to make it super specific so it uses the less amount of calories in their brain. And then you want to add urgency because your time is actually limited, right? You have limited spots, you have limited resources to allocate. So use that. It's real. The 7th mistake is about being lazy with targeting. It starts with vague audits where you start by saying, oh, I noticed your marketing could be improved, or your website has some issues. That's worthless. It sounds like every other cold email, and it doesn't prove that you can actually help. So that's one thing. The second thing about personalization is recording one generic Loom and blasting it to thousands of leads. This is the best way to destroy your domain reputation and end up in spam. And so the fix here is to micro-solve. You want to fix one specific unique pain of your prospects. Instead of saying that their marketing could be improved, you want to go, for example, with telling them the 3 exact keywords their competitors are ranking for that they're missing, or show them the specific section of their funnel that's leaking revenue, or give them a template, a framework, a solution that can solve one piece of the problem. This shows your competence and it forces them to reply to you because you've been so much of service at some point. Of course, there will be people who will not reply to you, whatever you send them, but most of them, they will respect that. So personalization is a non-negotiable. The 8th mistake is to just hit record and follow your instincts. Just be yourself, right? That's the worst advice. Because what will happen is that you're gonna ramble, lose structure, and you're gonna waste their time. So here's the fix. You wanna use a script and speaker notes. Loom and Screen Studio, which is what I'm currently using, both have features for this. Because this way, you know exactly what to say. This makes your Looms tighter, faster, and more valuable. And it also makes your life easier, which is important because you're gonna have to do a lot of them. And so you don't want to add friction on that task that's gonna be taking a lot of your time. And a quick tip here, you wanna put your speaker notes as close as possible to the camera. So this way, your eyes switching from the notes won't be noticeable. The 9th mistake is treating your Loom like it doesn't matter because it's online. Bad audio, echo, background noise, laptop mic, unclear voice. Here's the thing, if you were to meet your prospects in person, you'd be prepared, like you'd look professional. Maybe you'd wear a suit, or if you're selling to artists, you'll put on your best outfit. So you should treat your online setup the same way. Your Loom is your first human impression. And that's very important because you want to switch the relationship from being just a bunch of text in their inbox to being an actual human who can help them Because even if the content of your Loom is great, they're not gonna want to listen to you. So first impressions do matter, whether it's online or offline. And now, mistake number 10, the foundation, bad lead selection. Sending Looms to anyone with an email. And here's why this is the foundation. If you're reaching out to people you can't really help, you won't put in the effort. You won't be motivated to provide value, to do a great Loom, and they will feel it. Everything becomes forced. Your script will feel robotic. But when you only reach out to people you can actually help, everything changes. You're motivated to do it because you know that you can help them. They will feel the authenticity and the conversation will just flow. And that's how your reply rate will skyrocket. Get this one right, and the 9 other mistakes are 10 times easier to avoid. So before you send your Loom, ask yourself this simple question. Can I actually solve a problem for this person? If the answer is no, move on. If the answer is yes, apply the solutions to mistakes 1 to 9. Now, if you want the full script structure of the golden Loom that made $27,000 from one client without a sales call, I made a full video walking through the process step by step. It's gonna be the first link in the description. See you in the trenches.